A 17-year-old was riding her bike home from work when she was abducted by a man and held captive for 26 hours. She went on to be the one who got away and helped police catch the serial who abducted her. Because of the horrible home life that Lisa had, she was able to have the survival instincts that she needed to survive the serial Bobby Joe Long. Lisa did not have a good childhood living at home with her mother. When she turned 14, her mother made her go live with her grandmother to help take care of her. For the next 3 years leading up to Lisa's abduction, her grandmother's boyfriend would repeatedly RAPE her. Hours before Lisa was abducted, she actually decided that she did not want to live anymore, and she wrote a S-note and planned to end it when she got home from work that night. On November 3rd, 1984, 17-year-old Lisa Mcvey was riding her bicycle home from work when she was abducted off the streets in the Tampa Bay area. From the moment Lisa was taken off of the street, she began to become very aware of her surroundings and tried to take in every detail that she could because she said she was going to survive this. Lisa was a very smart girl. When Bobby blindfolded her, she clenched her jaw so that whenever she relaxed, she could actually see a little bit underneath of the blindfold. She was able to see through the little space that the carpet in the vehicle was red, the seats were white, and that the dashboard said Magnum. Bobby took Lisa to his home where he repeatedly SA'd her. She was never actually able to see his face, but she tried to get him to trust her. She would say like little things like, "I could be your secret girlfriend. I'm sorry that no one ever loved you." And at one point, she was actually able to touch his face, and she was doing this to try to get a description for police. Despite everything that Lisa was going through in those terrible hours, she still managed to find ways to leave behind evidence for the police, whether she made it or not. At one point, she asked to use the restroom, and when she went into the restroom, she put fingerprints all over the mirrors, behind the toilets, just all over throughout the bathroom, and she noticed little details. Bobby had the TV on, and a news broadcast came across the TV, and it was talking about Lisa's disappearance, and Lisa began to panic. Bobby then told her, "If you scream one more time, I will be forced to end you." Sometime during the abduction, Bobby told Lisa that he had done this to other women before, and she asked why, and he said that he was getting back at the women that had treated him wrong. Lisa was trying to get in his head and make it seem as though she was a very compassionate person and stuff, so she told him that she was a caregiver for her father who was ill, which that was not the case. She was trying to get him to see her as more than just someone to hurt, someone that had humanity, compassion. At one point, he even untied her because she was bound also, but after 26 hours, her efforts paid off. He tied her back up and put her back into his Dodge Magnum. Bobby asked Lisa where she lived, and then he went to an ATM and a gas station before driving to a parking lot behind a business near her grandmother's home. He ended up letting her go. He told her that she had to wait 5 minutes before she took off her blindfold and left, and she said it felt like hours, and she finally removed her blindfold, and she seen a big oak tree in front of her. She then took off running, still terrified that he was going to change his mind and come back and get her, but she made it to her grandmother's house at 4:30 a.m. But sadly, after she got home, she was still not safe. Her grandmother and her grandmother's boyfriend did not believe her, and the boyfriend beat her for hours before they eventually called police. Her grandmother called Tampa police the next morning and told them that Lisa was safe and was home, and that she was lying, saying that she had been abducted. And the police said they still had to conduct an investigation because she was a minor. Once at the police station, Lisa spoke with a female detective who also did not believe her, so she asked to speak to someone else. The next day, she was able to speak with the official in charge of the S crimes at the department, Sergeant Larry Pinkerton. He immediately believed her. After her abduction, Lisa went back to stay at her grandmother's, and she was watching TV when she saw that a woman's body had been found. She immediately thought, maybe the person who did this is the person who took me. So she called Sergeant Larry and told him, and he called the Hillsborough County Police Department and talked to whoever was in charge of that case, and they started investigating. Sergeant Larry wanted to put her under a hypnosis to try to get some information, but he needed permission from her parents. He called her grandmother's home and talked to the man claiming to be her father, which was actually the grandmother's boyfriend, and he said, "No, you cannot do that." Sergeant Larry felt that that was very strange, so he talked to Lisa about it, and that is when she broke down and told him about what her grandmother's boyfriend had been doing to her. Her grandmother's boyfriend ended up being arrested, and Lisa was placed into a place to stay for teens that had run away for her safety. Lisa was able to give authorities details about the drive to the home where her abductor took her, and she also mentioned how He had went to an ATM, and they were able to circle in on a location. Based on the physical features that she had given authorities, just by touching his face, they were able to get some suspects that lived in that area. Because she remembered that he was driving a Dodge Magnum, they were able to locate the ATM that he had used and pull up names from that ATM. 12 days after Lisa was abducted, Bobby was arrested, but sadly he had already taken the life of 2 more women. After Bobby was arrested, he admitted to taking the life of at least 9 women and RAPing dozens of others. After leaving the teen home, Lisa went on to live with her aunt and uncle, and years later she became a police officer. Bobby was put on death row, and in 2019, after 30 years, he was ended.